Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the temporary Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. Today's episode comes to you courtesy of Connie, who's been supporting this channel as a general tier patron. I truly couldn't do this without the support from amazing patrons like Connie, so again, Connie, thank you so much. And for the personalized deck tech, Connie's actually going to handle the intro for me.
Hey Mitch, this is Connie from Minnesota. For my deck tech, I would like to see you build around Jinnie Fay, focusing on turning wolf tokens into dog tokens, because I think that is funny.
Well, Connie, I absolutely agree. That is funny. And yeah, here we go. Jinnie Fay, Jetmir second, a 3/3 elf druid that costs Gruul, Green, Selesnya. If you would create one or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 cats with haste, but we're not going to be doing that, of course, because we're going to be making 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance. So this kind of a token replacement effect can be fantastic. And yeah, the goal of this deck is make a bunch of wolves that are actually turned into dogs. Now, on this episode, on this deck tech, I'm going to take you through different tactics to show you how this deck works and how we're going to win with it. Also, every single card in this deck, including the commander, is less than $1, so it's a very budget-friendly deck. And if you are interested in this deck, make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. Now, with all that said, let's jump into it. First up, there's Wayfarer's Bauble, which we of course can pay 2 to tap and sacrifice to get a basic land into play tapped. Next up, we've got some fantastic auras that can help our lands tap for even more. Wolf Willow Haven. Hey, we can make a wolf by sacrificing this, or we can make the enchanted land, tap for initial green, fertile ground, tap for initial of any color, a trace of abundance. Same thing, but it's also going to give that land shroud. Moving on, a fantastic way to ramp on turn 1 is Search for Tomorrow. Suspend 2 for a green, go get a basic and play untapped, and then Rampant Growth on Edge of Autumn. On turn 2 with 2 mana, go get a basic and play tapped or Edge of Autumn. If we've got more than 4 lands, well, we can still cycle this away by sacrificing a land. Moving on, we've got Steve, which can help us out. Sacrifice it, go get that basic into play tapped. Cultivate, go get 2 basics. 1 goes in your hand, 1 goes into play tapped and grow from the ashes. We can actually go get 2 basics into play untapped if we kicked it, or just 1 if we didn't. So first up, let's talk about some one-off effects at creating wolf tokens, which of course we're going to turn into dog tokens. So Predator's Howl, make a 2/2 wolf, but if we had Morbid happen, which means if a creature died this turn, we're going to get 3 of them instead. Speaking of 3 creatures, Bestial Menace, make a 1/1 snake, a 2/2 wolf, and a 3/3 elephant, which are all just going to be dogs for us. Howl the Night Pack, make a 2/2 wolf for every single force we control, which again are going to be those 3/1 dogs instead. So yes, even more power. Moving on, we've got some creatures that can help us out as well. Pack Guardian, a 4/3 flash, enters the battlefield. If we discard a land, we get a 2/2 wolf. Ferocious Pup, just an ETB on this one, no requirement. Make that 2/2 wolf. And Howling Giant, speaking of wolves, enters the battlefield. We get 2 2/2 wolves. And again, when I'm saying wolves, you know what I mean. 3/1 dogs instead, thanks to our awesome commander. And then we've got some creatures with even more massive ETBs. Sunbird Beastmaster enters the battlefield. We get a 2/2 wolf, a 3/3 beast, and a 4/4 beast. On top of that, our creature tokens have Death Touch, so that can make our dogs even more vicious. Wolfbriar Elemental, multi-kicker green, and then also when it enters the battlefield, we get a 2/2 wolf for every single time it was kicked. Yeah, that is a lot of dogs. We even have some enchant creature auras that can help us out as well. Wolfkin Bond, make a wolf when it comes into play. Enchant creature gets +2/+2, raised by wolves. Let's make 2 wolves when it comes into play. Mantle a wolf, enchant creature gets +4/+4. And when it's put in the grave from the battlefield, we get 2 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. Moving on, we've got an equipment that actually wants to join in on the fun as well with Wolf Rider's Saddle. Enters the battlefield, get a 2/2 wolf, and that comes attached to it. And also on top of that, equipped creature gets ++1 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Ranger class, ETBs, make a 2/2. Level 2, if we level this up, whenever you attack, you get a +1 counter on target attacking creature. In level 3, you can look at the top card of your library at any time and cast creature spells in the top of your library. And yeah, we've got a lot of creatures in this deck, so this can help us out in a lot of ways. But of course, we've got some repeatable ways to make a lot of dogs, throughout the game. Howling Moon. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target wolf or werewolf gets +2/+2, but more importantly, whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, we get a 2/2 wolf. Journey to the Lost City. Hey, at the beginning of your upkeep, you're going to exile the top 4 cards of your library, roll a d20, get a 1 through 9, you get a land into play out of them. 10 through 19, this is the fun part, get a 2/2 wolf creature token, then you get +1/+1 counters on it for each creature card among those cards, and if you roll a 20, get all those permanents into play and sacrifice Journey to the Lost City. Speaking of sacrificing, feed the pack. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a non-token creature. If you do, you're going to get X 2/2 wolves, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. So yeah, this can provide you an absurd amount of tokens throughout the game. Next up, we've got some creatures that can help us out as well. Kessig Wolf Rider, pay 2 and a red. Tap, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, get a 3/2 wolf. Nightpack Ambusher, other wolves and werewolves get +1/+1. Give your end step. Hey, if you didn't cast a spell, get a 2/2 wolf for free. Speaking of free, Master the Wild Hunt. Beginning of your upkeep, you just get a 2/2 wolf. Yeah, that's a lot of wolves. I mean, a lot of dogs throughout the game. Moving on, Kessig Cage Breakers. Hey, you want to make a ton of tokens on an attack? Absolutely. When it attacks, you get a 2/2 wolf. Token that's tapped and attacking for each creature card in your graveyard. But instead, let's just make some 3/1 dogs with vigilance. And yeah, this can be a ton on every single attack. And speaking of attacking and making tokens, well, not at first, but Tolar's Huntmaster. Hey, ETB, make 2/2 wolves. When it's on the backside, though, we've got Tolar's Pack Leader, enters the battlefield, or attacks, you get 2/2 wolf creature tokens. And yeah, that can be a lot throughout the game, a lot of dogs. But of course, we can make even more wolf dogs with Child of the Pack. Pay 2 red-green, make a 2/2 wolf, which is actually, again, a 3/1 dog. Savage Pack made those the backside of this. Trample 5/5. Other creatures you control get +1/+0, so our dogs are even deadlier again. Our dog tokens then are going to have 4 power, which is a lot to come swing at our opponents. But of course, we can take even more advantage of making tokens with Queen Elenal, which has, if one or more creature tokens we create under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. And again, keep in mind, yeah, that's going to be a 3/1 dog with vigilance, of course. But as awesome as all these cards are in this deck, there is one, in my opinion, that stands above the rest, and that is the Golden Pig of this deck, which of course is the #1 card out of our 99. And the Golden Pig of this deck, the #1 card, is Requiem Angel. A 5/5 angel with flying that costs 5 and a white that says, whenever another non-spirit creature you control dies, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So, this is basically infinite doggos, or should I say, just doggos that just go away and then just come back, essentially, because whenever we have one of our dog creature tokens die, again, that is a 3/1 dog. If it dies, this triggers this because it is not a spirit. Then this says, hey, I'm going to make a 1/1 spirit. But we say, no, we're going to make a 3/1 dog instead. So we essentially just keep making non-spirit creatures because, again, our spirit creatures that we make with this are turned into dogs. So yeah, we basically can just keep looping this again and again and again. If our opponents try to take out our creatures, we just keep getting them back again as dogs. So yeah, this is basically a way to just keep making dogs again and again and again. Even if our tokens are dealt with, it does not matter. And yeah, this can provide a lot of value throughout the game. It is absolutely incredible. So yeah, Requiem Angel, definitely in my opinion, the Golden Pig of this deck. But of course, we've got some great Anthem effects as well to help out our dogs. Pack Leader, +1 to our dogs, and whenever this attacks, we prevent all combat damage to be dealt to our dogs we control. So yeah, we can be very aggressive with our vigilant dogs. Intangible Virtue, creature tokens you control get +1 and have vigilance and Glorious Anthem. Creatures you control get +1, so this pumps all of our creatures. Speaking of which, Dictative Heliod, yeah, flash creatures you control get +2/+2. This can be a great surprise to our opponents coming out of nowhere, making our dogs again into 5/3s. Collect a Blessing, even more. Creatures you control get +3/+3. That means all of our dogs are going to be 6/4s with vigilance. Yeah, that is quite the deadly army. But to get to all these great cards, now let's talk about some ways to dig even deeper. Thrill possibilities. Discard 1 card, draw 2. Big score. Discard 1 card, draw 2, and make 2 treasures. An Unexpected Windfall does the exact same thing. And then Harmonize has us draw 3 cards, and with Feldorn, we can actually pay 1 to tap and discard a card, and then we get to Impulse Draw And then we actually, whenever we cast a spell from exile, get to make a 2/2 wolf, which of course is actually going to be a dog. Garrick's Pack Leader really cares about our dogs. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater is battlefield under control, you may draw a card. And of course, that counts all of our awesome dogs. And we can actually count all of our creatures with Rite of Harmony. Whenever a creature enchantment enters battlefield under control this turn, draw a card. And of course, we can flash this back. Next up, Shamanic Revelation and Camaraderie can draw us a ton of cards. 1 card for every single creature we control. Shamanic Revelation can also gain life based on the number of big creatures we have. And then Camaraderie counts all of our creatures, gaining us 1 life for each of them, and also pumps our creatures +1/+1. But one way to gain some card advantage as well as gain a ton of dogs is with Rabble Rousing. Hideaway 5, whenever you attack with one of our creatures, create that many 1/1. Well, it would be citizen creature tokens, right? But instead, we're going to make 3 1-dogs of Vigilance. Then if you control 10 or more creatures, you can play the exile card without paying its mana cost. So yeah, that's going to take us absolutely no time to get to, and this can make us a ton of dogs throughout the game. But now let's talk about some ways to further our plans while also throwing a wrench into our opponent's plans, like Orb Mutation, destroy an enchantment, and then get X saplings based on that enchantment's mana value. But instead, yeah, again, dogs. Artifact Mutation, a somewhat similar way, but basically for Artifact instead. Beast Within, destroy a permanent, make a 3/3 beast. Generous Gift does the exact same thing, but it's going to make an elephant for that permanent's controller. Crush Contraband, choose one or both, exile an artifact or exile enchantment, and Decimate, destroy a lot of things, an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land. Yeah, for just 4 mana. And then, of course, we've got some big, flexible ways to deal with a lot of things. Cleansing Nova. Choose 1 to destroy creatures or artifacts and enchantments, and I'll see your command even more flexible. Choose 2. Artifacts, enchantments, big creatures, or small creatures. So yeah, we can utilize these in the best way that we can for the situation that we're in. And some great situations really come from Martial Coup and our Reckoning. Martial Coup, you're going to make X 1/1 soldiers, which again instead are going to be dogs. Yeah, and then if X is 5 or more, destroy all their creatures. Our Reckoning, Convoke, and also destroy all non-token creatures, so our dogs are going to stay in play. And finally, we can protect our army with Boros Charm, Rootborn Defenses, and King Darien. Boros Charm, we can deal 4 damage to a player or planeswalker, so that's nice. Permanents we control gain indestructible until end of turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Rootborn Defenses populate, so make an extra dog. And creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. King Darien pumps our other creatures, which is great. We can also pay to get a counter on this and make a token, which again will be a dog. And we can sacrifice King Darien and give our creature tokens hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. But now that we've talked about our non-land cards, let's quickly go through the lands. Command Tower can tap for any of our colors. Exotic Orchard can do so most of the time, and Annual Sanctuary can get a counter on a dog. Next up, we've got some lands that can actually help ramp us with Crozen Verge, Mirrored Landscape, and Blighted Woodland. And then we've got Ash Barrens, which has basic land cycling for 1, and Evolving Wilds Terrific Expanse, both of which we can tap and sacrifice to get a basic land in a play tapped. In a somewhat similar way, we've got Cabaret Courtyard, which can get us any of our basics, and we gain 1 life when this is sacrificed. And then Broker's Hideout and Riveteer's Overlook, which basically do the exact same thing, but just for 2 of our basics. And to round this deck out, we've got a lot of basic lands with forests, mountains, and plains. Like I mentioned at the start of this episode, every single card in this deck, including the commander, is less than $1, so it's a very budget-friendly deck at $37.65. And actually, keep in mind that estimated cost does include basic lands at 10 cents a piece, so if you already have those basics, there's some extra savings for you there. Speaking of potential extra savings, you might be able to save even more by buying this deck on TCG Player and utilizing heavy played and damaged cards, which of course need a home too. Though keep in mind this estimated cost does not include the cost of shipping, which might vary depending upon where you live. So yeah, that's today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.